Please subscribe. Keep us alive.
The police confirmed an incident of multiple murder that occurred yesterday in Fajardo, Puerto Rico. 3 young people lost their lives after receiving several gunshot wounds. The events occurred yesterday afternoon and the police have not published the identity of the victims.
Authorities arrested a suspect in the murder of Veronica Rosario Figueroa, 39, at a Juana Diaz motel during the early hours of Sunday. He was reported as traveling on the Puerto Rico 138 highway in front of the Mennonite Hospital, in Camoa, where Ms. Figueroa was pronounced dead. Her bullet-riddled body was discovered in the early morning hours of Saturday. The man will remain in the custody of the authorities as the investigation is ongoing.
Unions and grassroots organizations marched Sunday, to continue demanding that the government repeal the LUMA energy public-private partnership with the Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority to control the authority's distribution and transmission utility for 15 years. 47 days after the went into effect, islanders gathered starting at around 11:20 a.m. at Luis Muñoz Rivera Park in San Juan holding banners, some chanting, to join the protest organized by the Retiree Association to protest against the private consortium. The past month and a half has been marked by energy subscribers facing constant power outages and potable water service interruptions due to electricity issues. From 1.3 million subscribers, Puerto Rico has an average of between 500 and 3,000 subscribers facing outages.
The president of the Electrical Industry and Irrigation Workers Union, Angel Figueroa Jaramillo, said the union will create a bona fide organization that would represent Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority workers who were transferred to other public entities after LUMA Energy took control of the utility's transmission and distribution system on June 1. "We know there is uncertainty, we are still discussing the bona fide organization and we will continue to defend you regardless of mobility," Figueroa Jaramillo said Sunday.
A federal judge in Texas late last week ruled unlawful a program that has shielded from deportation hundreds of thousands of young adults living in the U.S. illegally. The ruling throws into question yet again the fate of immigrants known as Dreamers. The judge, Andrew Hannon of U.S. District Court in Houston, said President Barack Obama exceeded his authority when he created the program, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, by executive order in 2012.
In world news, Jeff Bezos is set to become the second billionaire this month to reach the edge of space, and he'll do so aboard a rocket built by a company he launched. The founder of Amazon, who stepped down as CEO earlier this month, is scheduled to lift off early Tuesday with 3 crewmates on the maiden flight of Blue Origin's New Shepard launch vehicle. Riding with Bezos on the planned 11-minute flight will be his brother, Mark Bezos, as well as the oldest and youngest people ever to fly into space, 82-year-old pioneering female aviator Wally Funk and Oliver Damon, an 18-year-old physics student. Damon's seat was paid for by his father, the CEO of Somerset Capital Partners. Richard Branson traveled more than 50 miles above sea level on Sunday in a rocket-propelled ship that his company, Virgin Galactic Holdings, will soon ferry to paying customers. Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin will try to travel deeper into space.
In Haiti, since the murder of President Jovenel Moïse nearly 2 weeks ago, 2 men have said they were running the country: acting Prime Minister Claude Joseph and Ariel Henry, a neurosurgeon and public official who had been appointed by Moïse 2 days before the assassination but not yet sworn into the position. The New Deal would put Henry in charge and has the backing of the international community. A swearing-in ceremony could happen as soon as today. Haiti's election minister, Mathias Pierre, says the goal of all in the government is to hold elections for a new president possibly as soon as September.
Capitol riot defendant, Paul Hodgkins, was sentenced to 8 months. He understood what he was doing during the riot at the Capitol, prosecutors said. The Florida man must serve the 8 months in prison. He is the first defendant sentenced in the January 6 riots. He is seen in this photo carrying a Trump flag in the Senate chamber. The Department of Justice requested a stiffer sentence to deter future political violence.
In a first since President Biden took office, the Biden administration has transferred a detainee at the U.S. military prison in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, to Morocco, signaling a renewed effort to shrink the highly controversial prison's population, and possibly close it entirely. The transferred prisoner, 56-year-old Moroccan citizen Abdul Latif Nasser, had been cleared for release by a parole-like board in 2016, but was held at Camoa for another 5 years. In total, he spent 19 years at Guantanamo without being charged, making him one of Camoa's so-called forever prisoners subject to indefinite detention. As the 20th anniversary of September 11 approaches, many questions surrounding the events of the day have resurfaced. Specifically as to how the U.S. has justified detaining individual without charges or trial for 20 years? Other questions surrounding the crisis included queries about the third tower that imploded on 9/11/2001. Tower 7, a 41-story high-rise, imploded with 8 seconds. No airplane hit Tower 7. The official explanation was fire caused the structure to weaken and implode. However, architect and engineers for 9/11 Truth have petitioned for another investigation. A study by the University of Alaska indicates that fire could not have caused a steel structure to implode. Others have called on the Pentagon to release photos or videos of an airplane hitting the structure. The official story is that the cameras were malfunctioning that day and no videos or photos exist.
In sports headlines, the opening ceremony is Friday and the first competitions are Wednesday. But organizers of the Tokyo Olympics, delayed 1 year by the pandemic, are struggling to manage public anxiety about the Games after an outbreak of coronavirus cases that threaten to overshadow the festivities. As about 20,000 athletes, coaches, referees and other officials have poured into Japan in recent days, more than 24 of them have tested positive for the virus, including 3 cases within.
UTIER, Puerto Rico debuted last Thursday, a zipline at 3,200 feet above sea level, making it the tallest facility of its kind in Puerto Rico. The attraction is part of the Highland Agro-Tourism project of the municipality of UTIER.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.